I was waiting on making this video only to see if there was any more information that was gonna release on the Shinju or Code's karma following chapter 7 that could have changed my mind or some conceptions I had about it. But I feel like this is a solid time to make this video regarding a pretty good theory I have about the white karma and how it's affecting the Shinju more than you all think. Before we get into the video, I would very much appreciate it if you would all drop a like on the video, as it does help the video and my channel reach a wider and newer audience to grow our community. But back into my main point, let's take a quick dive on the white karma and the origins behind it from what we know so far. The white karma is deeply tied to Ishiki OTSUTSUKI, who came to Earth long ago with Kaguya to farm a god tree and feed on the planet's energy via the chakra fruit. Kaguya, who was ranked lower than Ishiki, was supposed to be fed to the Ten-Tails as a sacrifice to fill the prerequisites for the chakra fruit to be sprouted. When Kaguya betrayed Ishiki and left him on the brink of death, Ishiki then found a monk to be used as a vessel. He then later started to perform experiments to find an even better vessel than Jigen, where only 2 children out of many survived the test. These 2 children are, of course, KAWAKI and Code. KAWAKI, of course, bore his karma successfully and gained Ishiki's power in return. And the other child, Code, ended up being a failure, but he still ended up surviving for some odd reason, in which they described as an anomaly of a feat for Code. In addition to Code not dying due to the transfer process, he received an unusual white karma. Now, in comparison to the white karma, the karma seals are normally black in color and are used for an OTSUTSUKI to resurrect themselves once they die or been unalive somehow. This is why, besides their already crazy normal lifespan, that they're able to live an outrageous amount of lifetimes without any physical or mental deficiencies. Code's white karma cannot be used for resurrection. He doesn't even have access to Ishiki's abilities like KAWAKI. However, Code's karma ended up giving him strength that rivaled and even surpassed that of Jigen's. His power grew so much because of it. He had limiters installed on his body that suppressed his abilities. So as far as that goes, we know that the white karma grants his user an extraordinary power boost without granting the user any specific OTSUTSUKI abilities, but instead grants the user the will of an OTSUTSUKI in the form of pure power. I believe there was some sort of rare anomaly that occurred in the testing when KAWAKI and Code was granted the karma. Well, in the context of KAWAKI, I should say burden, not gonna lie. But anyway, during the experiments, it's possible that the true potential of Ishiki's karma was split in 2, leaving KAWAKI with all of Ishiki's innate abilities and Code with most of his raw power. There must have been some sort of mistake during the karmification process that allowed Code to live, because other than this, there would be no real explanation as to how Code failed the experiment but still survived. It's almost unheard of. But because of this, Code is now able to become a new OTSUTSUKI himself. So the karma is basically a backup file of all the data of an OTSUTSUKI compressed. Once the karma is placed onto a vessel, the data from the karma slowly overwrites the DNA of the vessel until the vessel is 100% OTSUTSUKI. Code's karma has no OTSUTSUKI data on it. That's why even though he has a karma, he still cannot become an OTSUTSUKI without feeding Boruto or KAWAKI to the Ten-Tails to get the chakra fruit. The immediate difference that you notice when you see both karmas is that one is black and one is white. The color white widely symbolizes purity, cleanliness, and emptiness or blankness. And if we apply this to the concept of the karma, then we could say, to keep it simple, that Code has a blank backup file, meaning nothing on the file except pure power of Ishiki and the will of the OTSUTSUKI. So exactly what is the will of the OTSUTSUKI? What do they want to do? What is their purpose? Their goal, to put it shortly, is basically to evolve. It's to devour as much planets as they can and to evolve into a point of pure godhood like Shibai. And now it looks like Code has inherited this will. The white karma is a method for Code to evolve himself into an OTSUTSUKI, and over time fill the white karma with his own data to someday place it along to another vessel and increasing his lifespan to that of an OTSUTSUKI. So now that we know exactly what the white karma is, how exactly does it apply to the Claw Grimes, who was created by Code using his own Shinjutsu and placing it onto the Ten-Tails? The claw marks were made by mixing in a little bit of the iron from Code's blood with physically embodied chakra. The 10 tails is just a huge lump of chakra, and initiating this caused the birth of the claw grinds. However, what Code did not take into account is the influence of the karma on the claw grinds. During Boruto's conversation with Sarada and Sumire in chapter 6, Boruto emphasized that the existence of the 10 tails is just to eat chakra, whoever and whatever it is. If and when they finally eat an OTSUTSUKI, that chakra will turn them into a divine tree. But the problem is they have already started to evolve, more specifically into divine trees, even without the need of devouring an OTSUTSUKI. He also goes on to say that since Code has a karma from Ishiki, which is a lump of OTSUTSUKI essence, this probably affected the claw grinds in more ways than one. So right here proves that even though Code didn't directly use his karma to create the claw grinds, it still had a glaring effect on the claw grinds and their evolution. Now I believe the white karma may have also given the Shinju that we know today the will of the OTSUTSUKI that Code inherited from Ishiki. And since we already know the will of the OTSUTSUKI, this kinda explains why the Shinju are able to evolve just by consuming life energy and genetic material like OTSUTSUKI. This actually brings me back to my original point of the white karma being an empty backup file. My theory is that since Boruto believes Code's karma had an effect on the Shinju, apart from the karma giving them the OTSUTSUKI will to want to evolve, it may also have given them the ability to actually become OTSUTSUKI themselves. Because of the white karma being a blank file, it gives the Shinju like limitless potential, or if not limitless, then like a very high level of potential. This is why they was able to gain a level of intelligence that we now see in chapter 7. Their yearn and curiosity for knowledge has surpassed their instincts to devour OTSUTSUKI now. With the knowledge and power the Shinju could develop in the future, it could truly lead to the worst possible future for everyone on Earth, which now suddenly becomes an understatement from Boruto when provided the full context of the situation. This also puts people like Sasuke, Moegi, and everyone else who was turned into trees in grave danger. In this case, they played the role as the root for the Shinju. This is why we see carbon copies of Sasuke and Moegi manifested in the form of the Shinju. They supplied the life energy and genetic material necessary for them to be born. So this explains why they can be seen resembling and even using the same abilities as their host. But at the same time, this obviously puts them in danger of being drained of all their life energy and just dying. So you can see why Boruto was probably acting a little bit irrational in trying to defeat the Shinju as early as possible to prevent this from happening. Although there is probably no guarantee that unaliving the Shinju would guarantee that the people that turned into trees would be saved anyway. He was probably acting more on emotion than logic here. Speaking of emotion, which is a powerful driving force that makes us human, it's highly likely since the Shinju now feel emotion, but simply just don't know how to perceive it, is the reason why they have specific targets that they want to devour. And these emotions don't necessarily have to be emotions of love. It could be out of anger, sadness, or any kind of emotion that would tie two people together. So the Shinju devouring these people would probably have the biggest effect on their evolution. It's probably not about the quantity with them, more about the quality. This is why Matsuri wants to devour Konohamaru, Hidari wants to devour Sarada, Bug with Ada, and JURA with Naruto. And also Naruto probably has the most life energy out of like 90% of the people in this verse anyway. And his genetic material could be what JURA needs to instantly become one of the most overpowered beings in history. It kind of makes you think now, huh? The true identity of JURA. Exactly who could it be? I did make a video on that, but due to copyright issues I had with Shueisha, I did have to take it down. But all I'm gonna say is that since we know Code's karma affected them, and Code's karma is heavily associated with Ishiki, you could probably make some assumptions, some pretty bold assumptions. But I won't dive too deep into that as of right now, because I believe that will be revealed as early as next chapter when the Shinju finally make their move to Konoha. But another question that has piqued my interest is, what if instead of a white karma, they used a regular karma to create the claw grinds? My guess is it would probably work, but it wouldn't be the same. So let's say if Code had Momoshiki's karma instead of Boruto. Would the potential of the Shinju be as high as it is right now? Probably not. Since Boruto's karma already has the data of a full-fledged Otsutsuki already on it, it may not have as much room for evolution as the white karma. This is what makes the white karma special. My guess is the only reason all of the Shinju are able to even use Code's claw marks is because of the DNA already on the white karma being downloaded or replicated onto them, which granted them all of Code's capabilities and even more. The Shinju would still be insanely strong if Code had a regular karma instead of the white karma. But the white karma creates a situation for them to grow to unfathomable levels of power, potentially to godhood if it makes it that far. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Will Boruto and the others be able to defeat the Shinju? Did I miss any crucial information? Or is there something that you discovered yourself about the Shinju that could prove to be interesting as well? I'm interested in what all of you guys think, so by all means, don't hold back. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Maybe turn on the post notifications so you don't miss any more videos like this. Chapter 8 will be released on March 17th, I think. So the leaks will probably drop around March 14th or something like that, maybe 15th. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and without further ado, I'm out. Peace.